All right, guys, welcome back to the DC show.
In today's video, we'll be discussing upcoming Marvel movies and related projects.
Did you know there's another DC out there?
What?
Stick around.
All right, guys, so right around the corner, we got the next Marvel movie coming out, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Yeah, I am excited. They've been releasing more clips and tons of posters. There's a lot of stuff out there for it, and I don't know. It's going to be really big. I mean, they're equating it to similar to a Civil War type movie as far as like the epicness.
I mean, honestly, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's just excited to be out of Phase 4.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited to officially kick off Phase 5. Yep. Supposedly, we're going to start to get some answers of what was really going on in Phase 4. This is supposed to start to tie things together somehow. Yeah. And it's supposed to be a pretty epic movie. I think Peyton Reed specifically said he did not want this to be a palate cleanser, is the way he phrased it, like the first two Ant-Man movies were. I mean, they kind of went from these big epic movies to like
a comic relief.
Yeah, comic relief story about, this, ex-con trying to save his family type situation, you know? So this is supposed to be a much more advantageous movie, if you will. We're gonna
Kang looks intimidating. He's gonna be the big bad for Phase 5, so it should be interesting to see where it all starts and how he gets even more power. And then
I think we're both pretty big fans of Jonathan Majors, and like he looks like, at least in the trailers, looks like he's gonna really kill it in this role as well.
And he said that he didn't look at He Who Remains, the last role he played. He didn't look at that when he was filming this. Like they're completely different characters, they're different personalities, different mannerisms and stuff. So
which makes sense because they're different variants of the same character essentially, but they do have different personalities and different ways of doing things.
Yeah, so it should be really good. I know Paul Rudd was saying recently before he started filming that he was having a lot of trouble getting back into shape. He's getting older, even though he still looks like he's 12.
He looks the same as he did like years ago. Amber and I actually just watched Our Idiot Brother, which we had neither of us had seen. I want to say it came out in early 2000s. Like that. And he looks exactly the same.
Yeah. My daughter is watching Romeo and Juliet in school, and he's in that. And I guess he still looks pretty young in there too. So
it's crazy.
He's a fountain of youth himself.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to know for those of us who do struggle to to get out there and exercise and whatnot, that it's even the eternal youthful that still struggle as well. So I'm not sure if that's true for Tom Cruise or not. Pretty sure he's not.
He's going to be filming the first person to film in space, supposedly.
I mean, does that surprise you in any way?
Not at all.
Yeah, me either. Yeah. But back to this movie. And what's your overall level of anticipation for this project, and maybe in comparison to some of the more recent movies we've had?
Compared to a lot of the Phase 4 stuff, I'm extremely excited. I'm really excited to see where I kind of know where they're going because it's the multiverse saga, but I'm curious to see how they're going to jump it off and how they're going to possibly introduce some other new characters that we aren't even aware of yet.
Yeah. I mean, definitely shows some characters that we haven't seen before. There's obviously a whole vast array of characters within the quantum realm, that we haven't seen. We're going to get MODOK apparently, and Bill Murray's character, which I don't remember his character name, but I've never.
He's kind of like,
but I have like some mixed feelings. I'm excited for the movie for sure. I'm excited about the CGI, but also concerned about the CGI.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of CGI.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of CGI. So the quality of CGI looks great.
Yeah.
But the amount of it, I'm just worried it's going to be just too much. Almost like all these shows that now they're recording or filming in the volume, where they're not on location. They definitely don't have as vast like a feel, they don't feel as tangible as real. But I mean, I'm sure they did a lot of that stuff with the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and I love those. And this looks like it has a similar feel they're not necessarily in space, but it kind of feels like that because they're in this different world, it's like almost sci-fi
creatures
and so I'm excited about that because I'm a big sci-fi fan. So I'm looking forward to that, and I just hope it's not too much CGI.
Speaking of the Guardians of the Galaxy, that is the next MCU movie coming out. There's potential for a couple shows possibly coming out, but they haven't released any dates, so maybe not. I don't know. Secret Invasion supposed to come out in the springtime, but they still haven't released a date on that. But Guardians comes out May 5th, Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of the Guardians movies. I definitely like the first one a little better than the second, but they're still great. We talked previously about how James Gunn wants this third movie to be just amazing. He wants it to be better than the other two movies, and he's spent more time writing the script for this movie than he did the other two.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. I know it's going to be kind of the last movie for at least this team. Potentially all, or at least a lot of the actual characters are no longer going to be in the MCU.
Yeah, I think Dave Bautista said this will be his last
MCU
movie.
He did officially say this is his last time playing Drax. I think he's been in, I think he said like seven movies as Drax.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, between the Guardians movies, and I'm not sure if he counted the holiday special or not, but either way, he's been doing it a while, and you know, he's, I think, ready to move on to some new roles. I mean, I've been pleasantly surprised with his acting ability. And
he's great in Glass Onion.
Yeah.
And we're going to be watching Knock at the Cabin, and he looks great in that too.
Yeah, keep an eye out for maybe some sort of a open spoiler discussion about that movie afterwards. But yeah, man, so he's going, you know, Chris Pratt's probably done. He's probably moving on. Very likely going to follow James Gunn onto some future projects. I'd imagine.
That's true.
Maybe good chance Rocket's gone. I mean, I know this movie's supposed to heavily focus on his backstory, and it looks like it's gonna be very emotional. So
I don't know. There's definitely going to be some deaths, but other than maybe Drax, I'm not sure for sure who's going to go, but maybe it could be Rocket.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see. I mean, we're getting Adam Warlock in this movie, so it's going to be interesting to see his role. We know Gamora will be back in this movie, so it's going to be interesting to see this version of Gamora and how she integrates in with the Guardians, if at all.
Yeah, now we know Mantis is Star-Lord's sister.
Yep. If you watch the holiday special, you know, they officially is his half sister.
They have some crazy powers coming up too if her dad's a Celestial.
Yeah, her dad's a Celestial as well. I'm sure that will come into play in this. I think they set that up specifically in the holiday special to have that play a key role in this story. So,
and then James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, is this his last MCU project, because he apparently is taking over DC Studios, which I thought when he was going to do DC, it was going to be our boss.
Yeah, like we had been waiting for the call.
He hadn't called us once.
Hadn't called us. And then he just a couple of days ago announced this whole big thing. He's making all these movies.
I didn't even know there was another thing of superheroes out there, you know. To be fair, we know what DC is, but we started this channel because we're huge Marvel fans, but I'm Doug, he's Corey, so DC. We wanted to make fun of DC Comics because, you know, we're big Marvel fans.
And by making fun of, he means we wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Yes. So
and we will from time to time, I'm sure, talk about some stuff, especially now that James Gunn is overseeing, you know, pretty much all the projects for DC. I mean, he's the
Kevin Feige, so to speak.
Yeah. I think we're both big fans of James Gunn and what he does. And I really liked the Suicide Squad movie he did.
I liked Peacemaker. It was a good show.
Peacemaker was pretty funny.
Yeah.
It was better than I thought it was going to be. I don't think John Cena's on the level of an actor as Dave Bautista.
No.
But the writing was good enough for the show, and they wrote his character to work out well with his acting abilities.
For me, it's one of the best opening credit sequences I've ever seen. It's
a lot of people like it. I don't even think I got through watching that one time.
No,
I think I watched a lot of it the first time. I was like, okay, I skip it, and then like I get it.
So good.
It's kind of funny.
That's because you're old.
It's probably why.
Because you're not part of the meme
I'm not
culture.
part of the meme culture, as it turns out. So,
but what he did announce was they're calling it Chapter 1. It's going to be Chapter 1 of the DC universe, and they're going to have still some of the other movies that they had already had previously announced, like Batman 2 and Joker 2. They're going to be part of the DC Elseworlds, which is going to, I guess, be like their multiverse, another sector of those types of characters.
Well, also one of the big ones is that they announced that they are still officially releasing the Flash movie, and very, very high praise for the movie. You know, James Gunn coming out and saying it's one of the best superhero movies ever made, which is pretty crazy considering he didn't oversee that movie at all. He wasn't involved in the development of that movie.
There's some controversy with Ezra Miller, but apparently they're keeping him in the role. And if it's a good movie, it's a good movie. I mean, I think they're keeping the door open for future movies, but we'll see. I think they don't want to say anything about Ezra Miller staying in that role
in the future until after this movie comes out, and they don't want to have negative press about Ezra Miller being involved in it, whatever. So we'll see how the movie does.
Yeah.
And we'll see if they decide to bring him back.
Supposedly, this movie, though, is going to basically reset the whole DC universe. And that's what's going to lead into this new chapter 1 of the DC, which is going to start with a Superman movie that's written by James Gunn called Superman Legacy, which takes place more of like, I think it's like teenage years. A lot of these are based off of actual comic book runs. So that's kind of cool. It should be interesting. They haven't announced any castings, which sucks that Henry Cavill's not in it anymore.
Yeah.
It's not really James Gunn's fault.
I think James Gunn came out and said that the whole situation with him wasn't handled very well. And I think he would have liked to have done some stuff with him, and maybe he still will in the future, although I don't think it would be in that role.
Probably not.
But, and from what I understand, the Superman project is not going to be an origin story, right?
No, it's kind of like he's already got his powers. He's kind of like on the farm.
Which is good. I mean, I feel like we've seen that so many times between TV shows and movies that I think everyone knows who Superman is and where he came from. So,
it should be pretty cool. And then they're doing a new Batman movie with Damian Wayne, Batman's long lost son or whatever. He's going to play Robin. So should be an interesting movie. Then they're doing a show with the Green Lanterns called Lanterns. They're going to do Hal Jordan and forgot the other guys.
I don't want me backing up a tiny bit, but the Batman project is going to be separate from the Batman, right?
Yeah.
Because they're going to still make a second
Batman with Robert Pattinson. So it'll be a different person playing Batman in this movie.
Yep. So
the Robert Pattinson one will be part of the DC Elseworlds.
Elseworlds, yeah, and then the new Batman that's introduced, which they haven't announced a casting yet, right? That'd be part of the chapter 1 or whatever, and that's I guess just DCU, right? Is what they're
calling it the DCU instead of it was the DCEU prior. But the Lantern show, I remember it as Jon Stewart, which like Daily Show. Jon Stewart's the other main Green Lantern guy. I guess there's gonna be other lanterns, but it should be like more of a true detective type show, kind of a mystery, like trying to figure stuff out. They're gonna do like a Wonder Woman based show on the Themyscira or whatever.
Minuscure or something? Her
planet.
Her land.
Yeah, wherever she's. Yeah. It's going to take place in more of a Game of Thrones style type show. It takes place before the Wonder Woman movies. I don't believe Gal Gadot is supposed to return.
Yeah, I don't know that anyone's returning really, other than for the Flash movie. Yeah.
And apparently Aquaman. He's going to be. They're releasing the Aquaman movie still on December 25th.
Well, that's going to be part of the Elseworld stuff too, isn't it?
Is it? Okay.
I think so. Because I'm pretty positive Jason Momoa is coming back to DC, but in a different role.
Probably Lobo, hopefully.
Probably Lobo. He's been super excited for that role, and I mean, I don't know a ton about Lobo, but I mean, I've seen the art and stuff. I mean, it looks like him.
Spot on, yeah.
It's him. Like they wrote a comic book about Jason Momoa.
And there's definitely some other shows. I'm not we're not huge DC fans. There's other shows and movies that they're going to be releasing, and I think they're ending it with this first chapter with a Swamp Thing movie, which is part of the DC Elseworlds. It's gonna be more of a horror style. It's written by or directed by James Mangold, who directed Logan. So that should be pretty cool. Make it a little darker, more gritty.
Yep. Yeah, we have a couple of friends that are some more like DC fans than us. So
maybe if some of that comes out, maybe they'll want to come on and talk.
Alex and Mike, maybe Prisco.
Yeah,
we get those guys on here.
You guys want to come on and talk about DC?
Yeah, if you guys want to come on with us, let us know. We'll work something out. You guys gonna have a little bit more knowledge probably than us, and we'd love to hear your insight from being more true fans to DC. Yeah. So. All right, guys, let us know if you're as surprised as us to find out that DC turns out to be an actual whole comic book company. Yeah, leave us a comment and let us know what superhero-related stuff you're most excited for. Be sure to like and subscribe. And have a marvelous day. I'm glad you can, because you're struggling. No, not really, but I am getting older and my eyesight's not what it used to be. You're getting older? I'm not getting older. I'm at least a day older than I was yesterday at this time. Not me. That's impressive. That's good. I'm not a day older than you were yesterday. That's very true. This is just to make me say, I want to change my shirt. Yeah, me too. And we're recording right now. Oh shit. Let's take our shirts off. Oh my gosh. I'm probably just going to take this off and then I'm going to wear my, yeah. Woo. I'm just going to go black shirt on this one. My red flannel's on the casting couch. No, it's not. It's on the couch in there. Welcome back to the C Show. The semen? What? About the X-Men? Whoa. Why is it all jumpy like that? Don't worry about it. Hold on. Actually, do worry about it. I mean, that was weird, don't you think?
Yeah.
Hopefully it didn't record like that. I mean, it doesn't matter yet, but hopefully it doesn't do that. Like, you know,
Maybe.
I mean, we talked about it briefly, but we're doing a little bit new setup, so we'll see how it goes. And if you go to edit these videos and they're a little janky, then we will have to go back to using Sean. I do like that you could see the fire behind us. Are we gonna keep it fire, or do you want to change it? I'm fine with the fire, but
fire.
okay,
It goes with our colors.
I agree.
All right, guys, welcome back to the DC show.
In today's video, we'll be discussing upcoming Marvel movies and related projects.
Did you know that we're not the only DC out there?
What?
Stick around.
I think that's fine.
Okay. I think my it's fine. I think my voice slightly cracked when I said DC out
If you're not happy with it, we can do it again.
One more time.
Okay.
Did you know that we're not the only DC show out there?
We're not. Stick around.
I shouldn't have said DC show. Damn it.
Oh yeah. We're not the only DC show out there. Yeah. No,
We're not. Technically, there's a
That's true.
there's a
Well,
DC show on YouTube.
Are they called the DC show?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
like Washington DC.
Yeah. There's a bunch. There's like some Indian video thing too, I think, isn't there?
All right.